Hiya, Talking Reds. I'm Josh Sexton, joined today by Paul Senior.
I wasn't expecting higher.
No one ever expects higher. It's the trademark, isn't it? This is the last Talking Reds before Christmas, so you know they had to get the big hitters on. Make sure you have a lovely Christmas before we go away. Paul, you're off to Wolves tonight. Tell me about that.
I am off to Wolves and I'm in a big glass building and not liking what I'm about to have to drive in. Mad Friday, as it's known in the UK. If overseas listeners, it's
been stitched up with the driving then, yeah?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Rob Gutman pulls the away day strings and I drive the away day vehicle.
They just get on the small wines, do they?
They do, and I'm not much of a drinker anyway, really. I'm a bit of a bore in my old age, Josh.
No.
So, yeah, but I want to talk about this Christmas tree. Fucking hell.
You can't just insult the gaff we work in, you know.
Well, I can. I mean, that is the worst Christmas tree I've ever seen, I think.
I'm pretty sure they just hired it from Ronnie Koeman's house anyway, with all the red on it. So
Red Ron,
yeah.
We're thinking of you at this time. So you'll be in the away end tonight, it's almost certain.
Well, we've asked you for your questions, but obviously we'll do a bit of Wolves chat first, Paul. What are you sort of expecting in terms of the Reds, in terms of the lineup tonight? I wonder whether this is the one that Klopp experiments with, because I sort of look at Newcastle and think maybe that's the one he goes for a couple of changes for, thinking about Arsenal and City after that. But what do you reckon?
I'm not sure. I think I'm almost certain he'll go as strong as possible, because the no mugs. I think he'll show them the right amount of respect, and I'm bigging this up in my head like we're playing City tonight. Yeah. It's really, it's not concerning me because we're dead good, but I think it's going to be a bit of a tasty game. I don't think we're going to be going and blowing them away. Although I think Liverpool have got to start quick, and I was saying this on the Friday show and to our player that I don't want us to get into a battle like Watford away was and what Burnley away was. I think we need to put a stranglehold on the game early doors. And
they're the only team, obviously, outside the top six to take points off City this season. So you've got to think about that as well. And I watched them against United. I think that was at Old Trafford, that game. And their pressing was probably the most impressive thing. They're a side who've come up and made a couple of good purchases, but they also look like they're fairly good at football. They're not just some lads who sit behind the ball.
I mean, they blew the Championship away, didn't they? They came up and I think everyone fancied them, but they've clearly got quality, and they've mixed that with sort of experienced English players. Even the likes of Conor Cody now has been knocking around for a while in the lower leagues. He's come up, looks a Premier League player, but they've got quality in Neves. You know, Traore's so direct. If they start with him, Jimenez, Jota, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but I'm sure they're worried. They'll be worried because Liverpool are top of the league against one of the best Manchester City's.
I think that's the
Premier League sides.
It's the thing we can always do, isn't it? I think when you, I don't know if it's a Liverpool fan thing or a football fan thing, but before these games, you just really get yourself into a sort of almost a state of panic about what
you wanted to see what I turned Huddersfield into when we were going there, honestly.
Philip Billing became Zidane.
Yeah, that's it, mate, honestly.
No, but yeah, Liverpool should be going there expecting to be the favourites. We have asked for your questions, though. Sean Walsh put this out on Instagram just before. The first one then is from Mr. LFC. He asks, which do you think is Firmino's best position, number 9 or number 10? See, I'd have said number 9 until a couple of weeks ago, and I think he's really starting to come into that new role now.
It's a bit of a layered question, isn't it? Because it's almost saying, what do you think Mo Salah's best position is? I know he's not asked that question, but I'm going to add that question into it. It's whether you want to see Salah through the middle or what. I think only one fella can occupy it for Liverpool. I was quite against it to begin with, and now I'm sort of for it. I think it depends on the opposition as well. Like, I fully expected him to play Firmino 9 against United. He let Salah occupy the 2 centre-halves, Mane went right, and I thought Firmino was excellent. So, you know, it's a tough question. I think long-term, maybe the number 9 position is where I prefer him, just because of the height we got to last season with him absolutely integral to it. But the Salah thing, did you see the stats Sky put up with games where Salah was right and for Liverpool versus through the middle, and our results were so much better with him through the middle. So, yeah, I'm up for whatever Jürgen wants to do.
And I suppose it depends on the formation as well, which leads on to the next question.
It's good he can do both.
Yeah, exactly. This question's from Bob at Kin, who asks your team and formation for tonight's game.
The midfield's the biggest one. I think Alisson Becker in goal, obviously, Van Dijk, Lovren, and
I think they're the sort of certs,
Robertson. I think that's about where it stops being certain. I would give Klein another go, but I don't think the manager will. And
it's 2 games in a week.
He spoke about Klein saying he'd get through on adrenaline. So I do think Milner will start right back, and then the midfield is at a 4-2-3-1. Can Shaqiri get into it? If Shaqiri gets into it, can you go Shaqiri and Keita? These are all the questions you've got to ask. So, me personally, I would go Fabinho, Wijnaldum as a 2, and then I'd go 4-2-3-1 with Mane right, Shaqiri left, Firmino in the 10, and Salah through the middle.
Okay, I said before, I think Newcastle's one where he does something mad, so I'd almost be tempted to say Shaqiri comes off the bench again tonight and then gets to start at Newcastle with a possible Sturridge.
Do you think he's going to, that's for Keita, playing left of a 3, maybe a bit more
forward? Yeah, so I think Keita probably does get tonight, because I think that's the midfield against United is probably the most balanced we've seen it, so I think he's probably going to be tempted to stick with that, but I could see Keita getting Newcastle again and then maybe getting the rest of the Arsenal game.
I'm presuming club captain Jordan Henderson doesn't get a game here as well, you know, and I think we're easy to write these lads off a little bit, and the manager doesn't, you know. So if Jordan Henderson's fit, he often starts. But I do take your point. I think the Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Keita midfield was very balanced, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it again. Yeah,
he's got some selection dilemmas, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. Next question is from Prabir Aurora. I think I've got that right. What, according to you, are the odds of the Reds winning the trophy this season?
Well, the top of the Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean,
you'd take that, wouldn't you?
It's in our hands.
If it was offered you now.
You know, I'm saying this after, 16, 17 games. It's very much in our hands. It's up to us if we want to go and win the Premier League now. That being said, it's going to be a long slog. The Champions League's interesting. I think we can beat Bayern. And I loved that clip in the week. It was a beIN Sports one, wasn't it, where all the Spanish sides wanted to avoid Liverpool. I think everyone in Europe wants to avoid Liverpool. So now we're in the group stage. I don't see any reason we can't go far. Everyone's got to come to Anfield. I think everyone would like to avoid that, wouldn't enjoy it whatsoever.
Next question is from Harry Kavanagh. It's quite an interesting one. I think we had a few chats about this on the Anfield wrapper, but I'm not sure I've heard yours. So can you remember your first time at Anfield?
Yeah, weird actually. It was Derby County Reserves.
Really?
Yeah, my dad wanted to take me to a reserve game before he threw me in the deep end. And to be honest with you, I remember more about the walk-up than the actual game, and me sort of being overawed by it a little bit.
I think that's always the first memory, isn't it?
Yeah, just like walking up to the ground and people asking for 10p for the bus and stuff like that. These are just little things that come up in my head, and it was a bit like, it was surreal. I remember me going to my first proper game, but I can't remember what the fixture was. Just the amount of people sort of was overwhelming, because I was only 5 or 6 or something, but. Yeah, no, I can't remember the actual fixture, but the first time I was at Anfield was 100% Derby County Reserves.
Yeah, mine was September 2007, and I'd gone into the game, and it was at the
definitely
time
before that.
It was at the time when Rafa was rotating loads, and I was just thinking, like, all I want to do is see Torres start, and it was in the days where you never got your lineups from Twitter or anything like that. And then I got to the game, heard the announcement from I think it would have been George Sefton at the time. Torres on the bench, Crouch starting, was absolutely fuming. Torres comes on off the bench, hits an over a kick over the bar, and Liverpool draw 0-0 with Birmingham City.
Wonderful. I think I'm about 1993, just so you know, quite old.
We'll move swiftly on to today anyway.
Cheers, mate.
So, Paddy Reid, asks, do you think Klopp would ever go with a midfield of Fab, Keita and Shaqiri? I suppose that begs the question in terms of your formations tonight.
Fab, Keita and Shaqiri?
Yeah, just as a 3, I'm guessing he means.
I mean, it's liberal, isn't it? I doubt it. I always think you'll get a Wijnaldum or Milner, Henderson with a Fabinho.
I think it's always like a 6-10 and an 8, isn't it? And I'm not sure he sees Keita completely as an 8 at the moment. I think he's more of a 10. Yeah. So you'd almost play him a 6 and 2 10s.
Yeah, I think it's risky, but I mean, I think it's maybe because Manchester City play Fernandinho, and they'll happily go with the 2 Silvers or De Bruyne Silva or whatever. I think Klopp's slightly more conservative than Guardiola. I know we play good football and we are on the attacking side, but I do think Klopp's a little bit more measured. So no, I don't, is the honest answer. No.
And a couple of these questions are coming then. So Mainsy 7, Ashel 18 and Jay Tomaway all ask your prediction for tonight.
I think Liverpool will win. I think I said on Friday show 2-1, and I'm pretty much inclined to stick with it.
2-1, yeah. 2-1. I think, I can't remember what I actually said on the team talk the other day, but I think I'll probably go for 3-1. I think I'll push the boat out a bit. I'm pretty sure that's what I said anyway, so I'm sort of sticking with it there.
That's right.
In terms of what's coming up over Christmas then, this is the last Talking Reds before Christmas. The preview show, which went out yesterday, that's also going to be the last one, but there will be a post-match pint tonight. There'll be post-match pints over Christmas as well, and all the podcasts, so make sure you get on them. And have a boss one at Wolves tonight as well.
Thanks very much, mate. Merry Christmas.